Welcome to 5 and 5 from the one-stop co-op shop, where we discuss 5 key elements of a game in about 5 minutes. I'm Michael Kelly, and today we're looking at After the Virus, a zombie deck builder game from the designer of Terraforming Mars. And no disclaimer needed this time, this is a copy of the game I purchased myself. Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire called After the Virus one of her top 20 solo games of 2019. And when I saw how ridiculously cheap a copy on Amazon is, I had to try it. But is this deck building gold or more of a post-apocalyptic wasteland? Let's find out and get to the list. We're going to start with the straight-up con, and that's the components and the art in the game. While some people might find it charming or unique, I just thought it looked a little haphazard and amateur. And the cards themselves aren't really good quality and will chip quickly, so I highly recommend sleeving the game if you get it. But this is my number 5 and shouldn't totally dissuade you because the game is $15 to $20 on Amazon, and for that I still think it's a good deal even considering the components. My number 4 is a mix, and we're focusing here on the co-op play in the game. After the Virus is playable by 1 to 3 players, but the thing is, each of you is running your own tableau and using your own deck and drawing from your own individual pile. You're basically playing a solo game, just with the option to sometimes shoot other players' zombies. So if you're here looking for highly interactive cooperative play, you're not really going to get it, but if you don't mind just a little bit of helping each other out and trying to reach goals at the same time, it can work pretty well. With number 3, we're still looking for a pro, and that's the variety in the game. On the positive side, you have 4 different characters who each have a different starting deck, and even though they might deck build into the same cards, they still feel pretty different when you play the game. Additionally, the game comes with 18 different scenarios with different victory conditions or special rules to deal with, so that gives it a fair amount of replayability. But on the negative side, those scenarios aren't as varied as they seem. There are only so many toggles you can mess with in a little game like this, so they'll eventually start to feel kind of samey. And along the same lines, every player has the exact same deck of cards. You're going to see those cards over and over as you play through the game, which means that your unique character might become less unique as you deck build. But speaking of deck building, we finally get to a full-on pro for the game. At first, deck building in After the Virus might seem kind of standard. You buy cards, they might stay out in your tableau, they might go to your discard pile and keep on coming back. But the big thing that turns everything on its head is that the zombie cards go into your deck too in ever-increasing numbers as you survive longer. So first of all, just the idea that there is no external evil, but the evil is coming from your own deck is a lot of fun and adds a lot to the tension of drawing your hand every turn. But additionally, it kind of flips deck building on its head because suddenly you want to bloat your deck more instead of, getting rid of cards and leaving cards out in play for longer. The more positive cards you have in your deck, the less likely you are to draw a death hand of all zombies and just be totally knocked out of the game. And here at the end, we're following one pro with another because the card play is also excellent. After the Virus is one of those games I love where the cards in your hand are your resources and you can do all kinds of different things with them. You can scout to draw new cards from the market, you can purchase those cards in the market, you can discard cards to ready other cards, like get your big weapon prepared, and then of course you can play cards for their own actions, which can be quite varied. It makes each hand of 5 cards its own unique little puzzle, and there usually isn't an obvious choice to make, especially with zombies breathing down your neck. You want to fight them, but you want to build up for later waves, but you want to get your things ready, but if you get too many things ready, then there will be more zombies in your discard pile than good cards. It's a really, really great balancing act that even with all the other stuff really brings this game to a high level for me. Overall, I've had a lot of fun with After the Virus, and for the price, I think it's a really great game to check out. Now, you might want to pass on this game if you don't like the art, if you think you're only going to play cooperative, because I do think solo kind of works better. Also, if you're looking for endless variety, you want tons of different cards, you're not really going to get that here. And finally, something I didn't mention, some of the scenarios can become a bit of a slog where you're barely surviving but also not being able to achieve the victory condition. So the game can overstay its welcome, rarely with just certain scenarios, and you can skip those if you want to. But if you want a really fun and unique take on a deck builder with tough card decisions every game and a decent amount of variety, especially for the price, After the Virus is a great one to check out. Good gaming, everyone, and I'll see you at the next stop.